Hey, what's up, everybody? TJ and Carrie here with Muscle Growth Mindset. We're trying to keep our composure and not laugh a little bit. We just went through this whole video and we had some mic issues and there's absolutely no sound, so we got to start over. So here you go. Here's another take of this. We're going to talk to you guys about cortisol today. It's the stress hormone.
Yep.
There's a lot of bad that goes along with this. It's associated with bad and negative, which is true. There's a lot of negatives with cortisol, but there's some good with cortisol, right? It's a good and a bad hormone. So why is it good?
Well, so one of the things it does, it helps you wake up, and that's good, because if you want to do stuff, you have to wake up. Some of the other things, the primary purpose of cortisol is a fight or flight response.
I'm sure everybody's heard of that, the fight or flight thing. So.
Yeah. Two hormones kick in are adrenaline and cortisol. And cortisol is responsible for giving you a burst of energy. Its job is to dump the glycogen stores into the body to be used as glucose for instant energy. And it also turns off the insulin hormone so that it doesn't get retaken back in and stored.
Okay. Well, insulin is a storage hormone, and we talked about that. We have a video on insulin, and so we're not going to get too much into it. If you want to know more about insulin, check back on our other video.
Yeah.
So it shuts down insulin, and it gives you access to your glycogen, energy stores to perform, so you can fight or flight. You can run.
Yes. A lot of studies show it's more effective giving energy to the legs, which makes sense if they're bigger muscles and they're going to help you run away from a threat.
Okay. So you get a spike in your cortisol, you get some glycogen stores or glycogen released in your bloodstream, so you can utilize it and you do what you need to do, and then it goes away, comes back down to normal level. I'm sure you've all experienced a fight or flight thing. You get that adrenaline. You may not feel the cortisol, but you're getting access to that, and you're all amped up, and then you crash kind of afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing for survival. It's a survival mode type thing.
Absolutely.
And then you also mentioned it affects sleep. How does that work? How does cortisol affect your sleep?
So it's built in for the energy part. That's how it manages it. It's a part of your diurnal sleep cycle. So within the first 2 hours of sleep, your cortisol slowly lowers down to where it's pretty much almost off. And then, of course, they say at night when you're sleeping is when you grow. So that would be, of course, why it's most effective to where you grow. And over the night, after those first 2 hours, it starts ramping back up. So it's opening up your glycogen stores, put some glucose into your system until you wake up naturally.
It gives you kind of a little energy to wake up and get out of bed. That's why when you wake up naturally, a lot of times you wake up in a more awake, in a better mood, ready to go, rather than when the alarm wakes you up, you're not. That's not when you were naturally supposed to wake up. So you come out of this sleep, your cortisol levels haven't elevated to naturally wake you up, so you don't have the energy to get going.
Yeah.
So we told this story 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But whenever I wake up 30 minutes before my alarm goes off and I feel good, ready to go, and I'm like, screw that, I'm going back to sleep. I got 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
And my alarm goes off 30 minutes later and I'm exhausted. So and that's an example of that. Whenever your body naturally wakes you up, you're ready to go, versus whenever you get an interrupted wake up.
Yeah.
So and the reason for that is cortisol. So what about the negatives? What about more of a chronic stress, chronic cortisol levels, elevated cortisol levels? What happens there?
So why it gets a bad rap is the elevated cortisol levels. So when you get a spike in cortisol, it's anti-inflammatory. For some reason, it turns off inflammation response. Probably something to do with the fight or flight response. I don't understand that mechanism entirely. What I do know is that insulin is turned off or down, at least down to a little bit. And insulin brings glucose into the muscles to be stored as glycogen. It also is what regulates amino acids into the muscles. And those amino acids are what we use to grow muscle. So you're not going to be growing muscle, at least not very effectively, when you've got cortisol at a higher level. You're not going to be storing glucose. So it gives you abdominal fat, insulin resistance, and then food and sugar cravings. Physically, that's what it does to you.
Okay, so you're basically, you get stressed, cortisol levels are up, you're shutting down your insulin. So now your ability for protein synthesis, amino acid uptake is pretty much gone.
Yes.
And you can't build muscle without that, right?
Right.
So it's going to be really hard to get progress and build muscle when you're constantly stressed.
Yep.
That's why sleep is so important. That's why staying stress-free is so important when it comes to your training. It can have a major effect.
Yeah.
So,
the high stress, the high cortisol affects your brain too. So that's why I just told you what it does physically. Mentally, it affects your hippocampus, your decision-making center of the brain. Lowers serotonin, affects your memory, can give you anxiety and depression.
yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people have experienced this whenever you go through a stressful situation, whether it's a job stress, you get fired from your job, bad relationship. There's a lot of this stuff, and you get a death in the family, and you're stressed. You feel that depression. You get anxiety. The food cravings. You've heard of stress eaters. That's a legit thing.
Yeah.
You can stress causes you to have sugar cravings and food cravings. So a lot of negatives with chronic stress. So it's really important to control that as well as you can. Try to live as stress-free as possible. It's life. You're going to be stressed, right?
Yep.
But there's ways to battle this. What about working out? Like, obviously, when you work out, you're stressing your body, right?
Yeah.
It's going to elevate cortisol levels. Like cortisol is bad, right? So this is good, bad. What do we do when we're working out?
So basically, a long, intense workout. If you're going at more than an hour, it's going to be stress. You're going to have a spike in cortisol, which we've talked about. That's not that bad. The workout is intended to break down the muscle so we can build it later. But we do want to minimize cortisol. Yeah. And the primary way to do that is to ensure that there's glucose in the bloodstream already, so it doesn't feel the need to dump more in. Cortisol is a diuretic, and it affects your antioxidants. So you want to drink water with electrolytes, usually with vitamin C, which will help replenish your antioxidants, and then the glucose. So you can mix those all together and have a drink that has some simple carbohydrates, electrolytes, water, and vitamin C.
Okay, so one way to battle the elevation of cortisol levels is a carb powder with, obviously you're going to have fluids, electrolytes, vitamin C. Drink that during your workout, sip on it. It's going to help battle some of this. Either way, it's going to happen. You're going to elevate cortisol levels if you're training right.
Yeah, you can't
and
stop it.
That's okay. We talked about a spike being okay. It's the long term. So you stress your body, cortisol levels are up. It's real important post-workout to start bringing that down, right?
Yeah.
We want to try to chill out as soon as we can after we work out. So what's your strategy there?
So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but the number one idea is to relax. So meditation, stretching, some people do yoga. If a lot of times I plan it right, so within a couple hours of my workout, I can either just lay down for 20 minutes or maybe even take a nap. It just depends on how much time I have in the day.
Yeah.
If I'm running, I know I won't be able to get a nap, but I try to. There's supplements you can take too, theanine or holy basil leaf. So if you're running throughout the day, maybe take a supplement, try to get your mind to a relaxed state.
Yeah, I think definitely the supplements. I'm big on theanine. My clients take theanine. I take theanine post-workout and before bed. And the holy basil leaves. It's going to help relax everything, relax you a little bit. And then definitely take some time after your workout to just stretch for 10 minutes. Or just sit and chill out. Kind of let everything go back down to normal. Shut off your loud music and just chill. You need to let your body start the recovery process. That's when you grow. That's when you build muscle. You don't build muscle while you're in the gym. You build muscle after you've torn it down and you start repairing it.
Yeah.
And we want to get to that repairing process as fast as possible. So if you have time, if not, make time. I mean, that's part of your workout.
Yeah.
Give yourself 10, 15 minutes to stretch, chill out, do some yoga, whatever, meditation, and then, take your supplements, your theanine, your holy basil leaves. That's going to help start that recovery process. Same thing before bed. Like you want to chill out. Those are the two most important times, post-workout and before bed. Chill out before bed, relax, do some meditation, try to avoid too much TV and phone time right before bed. Easier said than done. Trust me, I get it. But yeah, definitely, throw the theanine in. It'll help you sleep. and make sure you're getting sleep. Make sure you can do that evening routine of chilling out. You'll get better sleep, and you'll get better progress.
Yeah.
You're gonna get better recovery. You're gonna grow more. I think that's the basics of cortisol, the basics of the stress hormone. If you guys have specific questions and you want us to dig a little deeper, let us know. We'd love to do it. Love to do some research, talk a little more about it. Just put it in the comments, and if not, stand by for next week.
And don't forget rule number 1. We'll see you next time.